Hi, Darin Mangum here, the PPM Attorney. Uh, Today I wanted to talk about another common question that I get in my securities practice. Again, I've been practicing over 18 years now and get a lot of common questions when it comes to raising capital with a private placement memorandum, usually done under Regulation D of the Securities Act. Um, One common question that I get is, what if I've already raised some capital and I haven't used a PPM? Am I screwed? Um, you know, as long as you are, as long as we're able to get the investors to, let's say you raise a small seed round of capital, and then later you decide, hey, you know what, we should have had a PPM for that because what if? Because we didn't write any, a lot of the disclosure items that are typically covered in a private placement memorandum were not covered, and I just sort of did a promissory note, or I issued a bunch of stock, and maybe I just sort of, maybe I didn't have the money to do a PPM, so I just raised some capital. It happens quite a bit, and the answer is no, you're not screwed, but you are exposed, right? Anytime you're taking money from an investor, whether it's one or 100, you've got exposure, right? They can always come back and claim securities fraud. And also, if the SEC or a state securities regulator looks at you and they say, "Hey, give us your paperwork. What did you give to the investor?" And you're like, "Well, all I gave them was like a IOU or a promissory note," or likely you're going to have some trouble, right? So if you've already raised some capital and you need to go back and get those investors to sign off on a PPM, I've done that plenty of times where we go and we structure the PPM, and as long as what you had promised them is delivered, even if you had various arrangements, maybe did some horse trading, whatever, in the early stages, and now you're trying to clean that up. I can certainly help you clean that up. I've done a lot of cleanup work over the years where we'd go back to the old original investors and we say, hey, this was done. We're providing you with a new PPM, a PPM that gives you that full disclosure. And as part of the PPM, we usually get waivers or general releases from any prior, in other words, they're signing on to that they're acknowledging certain disclosures that are in the PPM, and basically at the same time, technically absolving you from any prior sins, right, that you may have committed in maybe non-disclosure or whatever, right? And so, really, I mean, what the name of the game is what's in writing with those investors, and so certainly we can go back and approach those investors, and sometimes it's in a corporate restructuring format where we're saying, hey, maybe we did it under this way, but now we're reorganizing the company to prepare it to go public, and so we sort of need to do some corporate cleanup. There's lots of reasons why you can approach them with a PPM in order to sort of clean up that past and move ahead without a lot of worry, And so, I mean, the key is, you want to do it as soon as possible, right? Ideally, you have in an ideal world, you do a PPM from day one, and as you could tell from my website, I've got really a budget should never be an issue when it comes to getting a private placement memorandum done. I've got a PPM, a fixed fee private placement memorandum plan that really fits just about any budget. Obviously, the more work that you want me to do, obviously the more services that you need. Obviously, those plans are a little more expensive, but it's all a fixed fee, a flat rate, fixed fee, no surprises. And so, and not only am I your securities attorney for drafting your documents and making your SEC filings, but I'm also your securities attorney for the duration of the deal, right? As long as you're raising capital. So that's usually the most attractive feature that I get feedback from clients. They like that. So. Anyway, happy to discuss your particular situation. Again, if you have raised capital in the past without a PPM, it's not the end of the world, but you do need to get that. You do need to get those loose ends tightened up and taken care of. So anyway, happy to answer any questions you've got about that. Again, in your particular circumstance, feel free to give me a call. 801-787-9072 is my cell phone, or you can always shoot me an email or shoot me a text at that same number, and happy to have a conversation. So anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.